Christian Church. It's been a couple weeks since I put together a video for you. There's been a couple reasons for that. One is that I've been trying to think about what the pilot's voice should be. Sometimes it has been this kind of church updates and things that are going on, and other times it's been interviews with people. And so just want you to know that from now on, there'll be two different kinds of videos that you may be getting from us from time to time. One will be videos like this, which is just an update on things that are happening at church. And then I really want to reserve the pilot's voice for conversations about important things that we need to talk about as a congregation that we can't necessarily talk about on Sunday mornings or in our small groups or things like that. And so if you see a pilot's voice episode come up in your email or on Facebook, know that that's most likely going to be an interview with someone from our church or somebody outside our church that has some insight that we would like to hear about some important topic that we need to talk about as a church. And so I just want to let you know there'll be two different kinds of videos coming out. Today is just an update on some things that are happening and that you need to know about. First of all, this Sunday morning, we have Broadway Kids Church will be open. We have, at least at this point, enough teachers who are able to come and to serve and to teach our kids on Sunday. So kids with families, you are welcome to come. SIMS has communicated to you all about some of the different safety precautions that we're going to be taking for all of the different age groups. I won't go through all of those again, but please know we're going to do the best that we can in a reasonable way to keep people as safe as we can. I'd also like to ask that if you come to Broadway and you get tested positive for the virus and you've been at Broadway anytime around that time when you've tested positive, if you could please let us know. I'm not going to hop online and tell everybody about it or announce it at church, but what we would like to do is to have a conversation together about who you interacted with, and so that we can let them know and so that they can be making wise decisions about the ways that they need to interact with people in their life. And so please, if you've been here on a Sunday morning, if you've been a part of a youth group or a small group or some other event, if you could please let us know that you've tested positive so we can contact the individuals that you've been closest to so that they can make wise decisions for themselves. The last thing I want to talk about really quickly is this past week, and maybe some of you saw this, there was an article put out in the New York Times, and the title of the article was "Churches Emerge as Major Source of Coronavirus Cases." And it goes on to say that there's been 650 cases linked to religious facilities during the pandemic. There's a few things that I want to say about this article. I think it's fairly revealing about some things, and I just want to make a few comments on it. When I first saw that there were 650 cases that have been connected to churches, I was surprised that that was all. There have been well over 1 million cases in our country, and that there's only been 650 connected to churches. That was a real surprise to me. I would have expected there'd be much more at this time. So that's something to be very, very grateful for. It's also to be noted that there are outbreaks. There's been over 40 churches that have been connected with these, that they do happen. It is a possibility. If you come on a Sunday morning, there is some risk that you need to know of and to be aware of. And so if you know all of the vulnerabilities about this disease. We've all heard that a lot. If you are coming Sunday morning, just know that that is a possibility. It is a risk. What I also want to take note of is the fact that this major newspaper in our country has claimed that 650 cases is a major source of this virus when there's been well over 1 million cases in our country. It does reveal to us that that the church is being watched, and that there are some who would like to make the church a problem or a scapegoat, or would like to be able to blame the church for certain problems, whatever their motivations may be, political, ideologically, personally, whatever. That there are people who would like to see and to be able to blame the church for this sort of thing. And so I just want to note that that is a reality. And because of that, I just want to say again that it is really important for us to be careful. That there are some of you who may want to be careful because you or a family member is vulnerable to this disease, and you need to be cautious. There's a whole other reason here why we need to be careful as well. In 1 Peter chapter 2, Peter writes this: "Live such good lives among the pagans that, though they accuse you of doing wrong, they will see your good deeds and glorify God on the day he visits us." We want to play our part in the city and in our country to slow down and to mitigate the spread of this disease. And we also know that it continues to be important for us to gather in small groups on Sunday mornings as friends together. And so as you are doing that in your small groups as friends or here on Sunday morning, we want to continue to ask you to be careful and to practice the social, physical distancing measures that have been asked of us. I think one of the important things that we need to continue to remember at this time is that the church is you. The church is us together. And so when we are gathered in our small groups, when we are being sent into the world, into our neighborhoods, our homes, our workplaces, we are called to be the church. And while Sunday mornings over the last 3 or 4 months has looked different, we have either not had our doors open or have had our doors open to a limited number of people. That has not stopped the work of the church, of Broadway Christian Church or Christ's Church throughout the country. And so in our church, whether it be in small groups, in continuing to connect as friends through a youth group, through the work that our children's ministry leaders have done to create these videos to continue to teach our children. This fall, we are planning we have another small group curriculum that we are putting together in order to help us focus on our calling to be a healing community. And friends, that there's still good work happening here. In as much as continuing to meet with people Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have a global outreach team that's continuing to connect with our missionaries and to care for them in that way and to support them in that way. There's so many things going on. I think there's a women's journey night this Thursday night. Friends, even though our Sunday morning gathering has been different, the church continues to work and to serve Christ as we love one another and as we love our neighbor. So be encouraged today. And for those who are able to come on Sunday, we look forward to seeing you there. For those who are going to be gathering in your homes or in a small group, peace to you there. God is with you as you worship with us in that way. I love you, and peace to you, Broadway.